Okay, I'll call the meeting to order at 4 o'clock. The first item is to adopt the agenda. Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Moved.
A second?
I second.
All those in favor of adopting the agenda? Signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the agenda is adopted. So we initially have some updates, timelines. We had asked Tracy to give us some information on timelines. Tracy, can you do that, please? Thanks.
Sure. I've been working on a review of the new statute and touching base with the committee's legal counsel, and told you I would tell you what to expect leading up to a vote. I just want to it would start with and I'm going to turn off my video because I'm worried that my connection isn't great, if that's okay.
That would be helpful. You're cutting in and out. Thank you.
Okay, so is that better?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Looking at State Board of Ed approval for July 20th, wanted to note that the committee has meetings on July 19th and August 1st, and you can decide whether you need to meet on those dates or not. The State Board of Ed is having a special meeting on August 12th, so there is a backup, but the hope is that the committee will meet concurrent with the State Board of Ed on July 20th so that there can be back and forth consideration of any feedback that they have to offer you.
Trace, let me just jump in quick. I thought you said July 19th. Is the State Board meeting on the 19th or the 20th, just to clarify?
The State Board of Ed meeting is on the 20th. The committee has a regular meeting scheduled on the 19th. That's the thing that you need to decide about. And then a committee meeting August 1st, which you may or may not need, to be determined. By August 11th, I think that we should begin actively working on preparing the draft language for a warning so that the merger study committee can act on or approve the warning. There, as you'll see when we get into the updates, you do have the option to include additional articles in the warning, and so it makes sense for the committee to make a decision about that, so that ANWSD and MAUSD can approve the warning at their regular meetings on September 12th and 13th. The target date for submitting things to the paper would be shortly after that, as the warning for a vote needs to be between September 27th and October 7th. And again, I'll confirm these dates with and work with the district clerks, but they are close to right, if not right. Petitions for board seats would be due by October 10th. And so on October 11th, things would need to go right to the printer to be prepared for the vote. Early voting would start on October 8th, and the election, of course, is November 8th. And then there's a 24-hour window for counting the commingled ballots, followed by a 30 to 45-day window for certification of the results. So that's what I expect the timeline to be. I should add that you'll note that in the Articles of Agreement, we had space for a date for clarifying for how to handle Starksboro in terms of their withdrawal process. It's been brought to my attention today that it's that the certification by the secretary of the vote regarding Starksboro's withdrawal may not have been processed yet. Therefore, the steps to allow for a vote on August 8th, I believe, which was the target date, have not been taken yet. So that vote might not be able to happen for August 8th. So your legal counsel has advised that the date in your articles of agreement for necessary or advisory be September 12th, 2022. That does give a window of time for Starksboro to vote or not and be addressed clearly. But they also advise that Starksboro be withdrawn as an advisable district, as a board cannot have been established by that date. So they can't make a decision to warn or not warn the article. So that's a timeline and article update for you, which certainly has significant implications for Starksboro in terms of their options.
Do people have questions?
Yes. Can
Go
I,
ahead.
Kate, can you hear me?
Yeah, and yeah,
I
why
just
don't you
want
go
to
ahead
let you
first?
know. I just want to let you know I'm online in my car.
Okay, good. Thanks, Ed. I appreciate that. Did you have a question, or were you just giving that info?
Thank you.
Okay. And then Erica, I think you had a question.
yeah, it sounded to me, Tracy, like you were saying that the early voting starts before the candidates for the board need to be finalized. Did I mishear that?
I could have misspoken, who knows? I have to apologize. I've been ill and I'm just coming out of my fog. The petitions are due Monday, October 10th, and the early voting starts October 18th.
Okay, I heard 8th.
So there is a 1-week window, and hopefully the main, remember I explained to you that because the vote is commingled, there's going to be one ballot that's the main question, Articles 1 and 2. Article 1 being the, and it's outlined in the section of statute I handed to you, I shared with you last time. Article 1, I'm not going to summarize from my head, but 2 articles that are the main question, do we merge or not? And then a separate ballot for each town with the board seats. So we can get ahead on getting the more complicated to print and deliver to multiple places warning and ballot processed, so that come October 10th, it can be, the focus can be on the ballot for board elections.
Thank you.
If that makes sense. Yep.
Are there other questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead, Troy.
On July 20th, you said there's a state board meeting that we should have some semblance of this group together for to be able to answer questions. Is that, do you have a time for that? Would that be a daytime meeting, an evening meeting? How should we prepare for that?
That will be a daytime meeting, and what I will do is coordinate with the vice chair of the state board. The chair will not be at that meeting. Coordinate with the vice chair and get clarity on the time that this is expected to be on the agenda, and work to schedule a meeting that's as narrow a time as possible. Typically, the State Board of Ed meets just in the mornings, roughly from 9 till noon or 1 o'clock, I think. Again, I don't know their specifics of their schedule, but as soon as I get more information, I can work on that for you.
And Tracy, maybe just one point of detail there. Troy mentioned some semblance of the committee, but I think more specifically looking to make sure there's a quorum so that decisions could be made if needed. So it's a little more than just a representative group to answer questions. There may be a potential action, I think, right?
Yeah, there's two different pieces. I think Troy was asking about presenting at the meeting, which is separate from also us having a meeting so that we can make decisions. If I have that right, is that right, Troy? Or were you asking about?
I was asking a question about the July 20th meeting with the state board, which it sounds like they may have questions for us. And just, you know, I know how summers go. The sooner we can get people dialed in and get that on their calendar, the better. I don't know if Patrick, I don't know if we'd be voting on or changing anything at that time, or would we come back together after that meeting to huddle based on
So
that
what-
meeting?
Yeah, so what we've talked about is that at that meeting, the state board might say, you know, yeah, we'll approve it if you make this change, or we'd like you to consider this change. And so if we have a meeting at the same time and have a quorum, then we can consider that in real time. And part of what we need to know is that what our committee wants to do? And maybe just sort of a thumbs up. Yeah, all right, I think that makes sense. So we can look at scheduling that. Tracy, can you talk about scheduling that in terms of the time of the schedule? Do you want us to just say, you know, do you want to block the longer time and schedule our next meeting for that longer time? And do we need another meeting before that probably to prepare for it?
I think that we do have time on this agenda to prepare for the meeting. And so I think it'll depend on how prepared you think you are. And the same answer for what to pencil in advance. It really depends on what you're comfortable with. You know, as I said, I expect the meeting typically to be a half-day morning meeting. So if you want to pencil that in, I would encourage folks to do that. I can get to work as quickly as possible on narrowing down a time with the chair and vice chair and get that to you as soon as possible, assuming that would be helpful.
And does that sound good to everyone? And we can see how we feel after item 5 on the agenda, whether we think we also need another meeting. Sarah, I thought you had a question.
Yeah, can I ask a couple questions? Number one, is there a reason why we need to meet or go on the 19th?
If you feel like you're ready for the State Board of Ed meeting on the 20th, there may not be a reason to meet on the 19th. You could also meet to continue to prepare, to stay up to date on developments around things like Starksborough's process and begin to work on communications, assuming your report and recommendation is approved. I totally defer to you, but I also understand that it's summer. And again, there are 2 meetings, that one on the 19th and August 1st, where I feel like maybe there's some flexibility. And perhaps you could even play it by ear and let your co-chairs decide, you know, a week in advance or something based on what's currently in play at the time.
Okay, my second question is so I understand the Starksborough situation a little better. On that, there are the 4 towns voting to let them out on the 8th.
It's my understanding that
Or whatever.
what needed to happen for that to occur on August 8th did not happen. So August 8th is out of the question, from my understanding, unless something emerged today this afternoon that I wasn't aware of.
Actually be 3 towns, right? Wouldn't be 4.
Oh, yeah, would it, so it'd just be the other 3 towns, not Lincoln? That would be voting.
That's correct.
And then that scenario gets pushed out, so they're still voting in November if we are approved. Starksboro.
If they are with, if you accept the revisions that your legal counsel provided, they would vote if their withdrawal is not approved by September 12th, they would vote as part of MAUSD. And if it is approved, they would not vote at all and would not be a player.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else have a question? I had a question, Tracy. I understood you to say that if Starksboro doesn't have a board in place to decide whether to be advisory, then they can't be advisory. And I just wonder how that legal advice maybe reflects on Lincoln. We've sort of gone to Lincoln and said, if you don't want to be advisory, let us know. Do you know whether their board needs to say we want to be advisory, or if that
they will have to ultimately act to warn, we'll prepare a warning and give it to them, and they will have to approve the warning. And if they do, they vote, and if they don't, they don't. And again, it's up to them to I'm happy to provide factual information, but as far as legal questions, they should of course consult with their legal counsel.
Okay, I understood. So if they want to vote either Starksboro or Lincoln, they need to have a board in place, and the board is the one who sends out the ballots or approves sending out the ballots.
Right.
That sounds okay. Thanks.
And for just for clarity, because I know there'll be lots of questions about Starksboro. Starksboro's withdrawal is being handled under the old law, which requires.
You're cutting out.
Towns to approve the withdrawal votes. Town select board. Sorry.
Yeah, can you repeat, because you cut out.
Starksboro's withdrawal process is proceeding under the old law, and our merger process is proceeding under the new law. So that there's a difference in which body is responsible for warning the articles or warning the vote. So just in case that question comes up, there's a difference.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Tori.
I apologize, I wasn't at the last meeting, and this might have been clarified at the last meeting. The last I understood it, Starksboro, first of all, I don't even know who do you deal with now in Starksboro? Is it the town, is it the select board? Like when you say they don't have a school board, who's representing the town of Starksboro?
Well, that's one of the challenges with the law pre the rewrite of Chapter 11, right? And I'm not the expert and don't want to give Starksboro advice, but I believe that the most appropriate body would be the select board. But again, the question ultimately is Starksboro's.
So it was my understanding, and I may be wrong on this, but I heard this from somebody from Starksboro who we work with, that there was talk of if they liked the language of the voting about how you would potentially ever close a school, then they were going to stop their withdrawal process. They didn't like the language?
No.
Okay, so that was my question. Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah, that was at the last meeting.
Okay.
Anybody else with questions on timelines? All right, we'll move on. And I think you started to get into the options of warning, but if you can speak to that, Tracy, thanks.
Sure, your legal counsel consulted with lawyers from the Agency of Education, and the answer is that you can elect to add additional articles to the warning. You can also choose to add language to the articles of agreement themselves that say these articles can't be changed, or this article can't be changed except by a vote of the electorate. So those are your two options for addressing
Let's see the
or
Article
making a
14.
choice. Yeah, making choices about what can be changed by who. It's important to understand that even if you just put it in the articles, however, that can still be changed. It adds a layer, but it can still be changed.
What's the process for changing if it's in the articles as versus if it's voted on?
The board can still make that change.
So
So
if
they
it's
can
in the
change
article, they can change it. If it's the board can change it. If it's voted on, the voters have to change it.
That's correct.
Any other questions on options for the warnings?
You would do a great job.
All right, seeing none, let's move on to questions about dissolution of the committee.
I guess I do have a question. So we know what the ground rules are. Will there be an opportunity at some point to decide what we're going to do, I guess? Or is now the time?
Yeah,
Well, if you want to change the articles, now is an important time to do that. And I would welcome direction around your preferences so that I can work with legal counsel and draft something for you. The final decision, I would say, please plan on for your August 16th meeting, but you know, there's lots of reasons that it would be helpful for you to indicate your direction in a formal way now.
and Tracy, is that part of when we do, well, I guess sharing the articles is separate. Just so we want to take that up now, I guess. Do we want to talk about what articles we want voted on versus what articles we want not voted on, and which articles we want to put language in that says these articles can't be changed?
So I guess my first question would be is if somebody has a handle on the optional articles, so we can say if it's 1 or 6 or 10 or whatever that we're going to be talking about.
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
go ahead, Tracy. The required versus optional.
I'm turning to the resource I gave you at the last meeting, which was the excerpt from H727, section 712, contents of a warning. And the articles that need to be included in the warning are the grades to be operated, operation of schools. You're going to operate schools K-12, pre-K-12 rather. The board configuration, assumption of debt and ownership of school property. And then the rest are referenced in the final report. That's Article 1. And Article 2 speaks to the initial members of the Union School District Board and asks for action on the board configuration. So every other article, I guess what would be helpful to me is for you to review the articles and say, no, this is something that I would really like to have that I think would be really helpful if it was only changeable by the electorate. And then I can cross-reference it back to the list I just read to you.
Sorry about that. Would it be helpful if we go through them one at a time?
Yes.
It's definitely worth it.
Okay. So let's start with Article 1. I'm gonna just pull that up on my screen.
So Article 1 is necessary districts. That is already incorporated in the warning, as is Article 2 advisory. And Article 3 grades to be operated is included.
So starting with Article 4.
Yes. So I'm not hearing anybody speaking up for Article 4. That's cost and location of proposed new schools. It basically says no new major construction is needed or renovation for the formation of the union. Article 5 is the plan for the first year of operations. So again, that only applies for 1 year. But it does speak to transportation of students, assignment of staff, and assignment of staff, which are issues people feel strongly about.
Does anyone want that to be included in the articles that are voted on? Anyone want to speak to that?
So right now it's optional.
Correct. Article 4 and Article 5 are both optional.
Is there a reason why some are underlined and some are bold type in this document?
The bold is the main article and they're underlined when an article has different parts to it.
Just says Article 5D, but then that one's in bold and Article
yeah.
5E is underlined. So I just am curious.
Thank you.
While I'm here.
I appreciate that.
So just for my clarification, I'm slow on this. The voters are gonna go in and have a piece of paper.
And it's just gonna have Articles 1 through 4 on it.
But
1 through 3 on
everybody
it.
votes for Articles 1 through 3 and not 4.
Then they vote on Articles 1 through 3 is one set. Is there a second set, Tracy?
So that's
Yeah.
what we're talking about now, right? Whether we want other articles included in what they vote on.
Okay, so they're
And-
voting on all as one set. You can't pick out articles.
No.
It's not a salad bar.
Actually, it is a salad bar, okay? So the way the first article reads is basically, do you approve?
For the voters.
Yeah, do you approve the articles of agreement? And it lists some of the articles of agreement. Some are required to be in there in the warning. And anything that's in the warning can only be changed by vote of the electorate. So you can add explicit reference to additional articles to ensure that they can only be changed by vote of the electorate.
Oh, I see. So it's protection law.
Yeah, and what I would say is the elements in Article 5 have other factors in place that make them robust anyway. You know, contracts have to be honored and or renegotiated, period. And there's plenty of other law that backs that up. And even if you put it in there, there's more robust protection in other areas of the law. So I don't feel like you need to add that.
I would opt to err on the side of caution and drag everybody through it all to
Yeah.
make sure they understand. And if it's redundant, I'm not sure I'm concerned with that aspect as much as making it as clear as possible what people are voting for. And there's nothing in the wings that can be backroom party debated after the fact.
Yeah, and so I would just say, you guys, right now, I've got the articles in front of me, so I'm not necessarily seeing all hands, so feel free to speak up if I'm not recognizing you and you're looking to speak.
I'm just wondering, are we going to be putting out more communication to the community about the details of these articles before that? Because it seems like it might be detrimental, if not a lot of information went out, voters go to the voting booth and there's this huge overwhelming document, that could impact the vote overall.
Well, and the other thing I'm thinking about is at one point, I got the impression that these articles would be by reference. It wouldn't be all printed out on the ballot, or is that not the case?
I thought that was said at the last meeting, right?
That is the case. Well, you could ultimately decide to print every article, but again, that has, or to explicitly reference every article, and that did happen in one district, I believe, when they were formed, but that would create a very lengthy, very confusing ballot that may not be necessary to create.
I would say a simple ballot.
Yep. Yeah, second
The
that.
ballot is simple, but keep the
Keep
detail.
documents there if people want to go read them in the lobby or like go read to your heart's content, come vote.
I would
We
see
have
it like
QR
how we get the budget, you can either get the whole book, you can go online to read it, like having it in multiple forms where people can access it. I could see it being something like that.
But we don't vote on a 90-page document for a budget.
Correct.
We vote on a
But
flip
you
of
just have a
colored full
statement,
paper.
right? And I
Yes,
can see that, but you can access that budget by going to the website, the Addison
Right.
Northwest website, right?
Right.
Click. So I would see it like something like that.
So I'm gonna look for a thumbs up consensus on keeping the ballot simple, but having backup documents available. All right. But what we're doing now, though, is this other piece is if it's included in the warning, it then can only be changed by vote versus if it's not included, the board can change it. And so, go ahead, Erica.
What?
This might be a very basic question, but does the warning the same as the ballot, or can the warning be more wordy and the ballot be simple, or they're the same thing? Okay,
They're
so
the
the
same.
warning has to be the same thing as you're gonna see when you go into the voting booth and say yes or no. Thank you.
So should we continue going through in terms of if there's articles that we want to make sure are included in the warning and thereby be limited to change by voters? Does that make sense to continue that? So we are at Article 5. Any more discussion on Article 5? Troy?
I don't love Article 5 in there.
Yeah.
Because there's too many things that you can't go to the electorate for around curriculum, contract negotiations.
Yeah, I think that's the consensus, Troy, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So unless there's someone who, so as we go through there, unless somebody thinks we should have something on the ballot, let's just keep moving through. So moving on to Article 6.
Article 6 is on the ballot, and when it's done, so that's fine.
Yep.
And it's already there. Article 7 is also,
Transfer real and personal
Yep.
property, it's on the ballot.
that's
Disposal of
embedded in
real
the same
estate.
article, yep.
Article 8.
Not
forming
on the
an-
ballot, but doesn't need to be, I
Does it-
don't think.
Because we are
Yeah.
who we are, right?
Yep.
Whoever votes.
Article
So-
9,
Go ahead, stop. Someone had a question?
Can I ask, remember how last time there were two different sets of articles that the state provided that we have to vote on? right? Is that the salad bar you're referring to? Does there have to be a yes vote on each of those things, or is it, or are they all combined into one thing?
They are all combined into one thing, so
Great.
there'll be this lengthy, there'll be a salad bar, a salad created from the salad bar, and people will accept the salad that was created or not.
Okay.
Okay, moving on from salad to, so forming entities. Okay, Article 9 is Board of Directors representation. So that's where we have the weighted voting. We do have provisions in there to allow for changes if schools are leave or are advisory.
Yes, Articles 9 and 10 are on the warning, but by law, the board can adjust because you have weighted voting and you've taken care of that. So they don't need to be added in any way.
Article 11 is the date of the vote. So the date of the vote is the date of the vote. I don't need that unless anyone feels. Article 12, date of operation of the new unified union supervisory district, July 1, 2023. Article 13, Board of Directors operation during transition.
Is 12 optional or needed?
I think that it is not needed. I don't think the board can change the operational date. They just can't.
And Tracy, I'm remembering something you said before. One option for an article to only be changed by a vote of the electorate is to put it in the warning. I think I heard you say another option is to write language in that article, in the actual articles of agreement, that says it can only be changed by a vote of the electorate. So in interest in keeping the ballot simple, that's another option, right?
It is an option, but the language that says it can only be approved by vote of the electorate can be changed by the board. Now that might impact board elections in the future and get a lot of community feedback, but that is a consideration.
And is that a majority, do you know, vote?
Everything would be by a majority.
Yeah, nominee sort of. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
And
anything? Oh, go ahead, Trace.
I was going to say you could set a super majority, but that could be changed by majority vote of the board.
All right. So anything, I'm at Article 13. Is there anything on before Article 13, anything further on? Okay. So Article 13, Board of Directors operation during transition.
Yeah, I don't think you need to include that.
Okay.
So Article 14A votes on the budget and other public questions. There's a separate process in law for changing that. And I think technically the board can't change that without a vote of the electorate because there's another area of law that covers that. 14B is the one that I think the article that is behind the question. So that's the one worth talking about. I'll just say Article 14 is advisory to the state board, and Article 14D, D and E, you could consider adding or not as you will 14B.
So let's talk about 14B. That's the supporting and protecting community schools. Anybody have interest in having that not be able to be changed except by vote of the electorate?
Can you say that again?
Yeah, so 14B is protecting our community schools. do we want to include that in one of the articles that the voters vote on so that the school board can't change it? Or do we not want to include it in those articles, in which case the school board could change it? Or the middle ground of putting language in there that says that it can only be changed by a vote of the electorate, but knowing that the board can change that article that says that it can only be changed by a vote of the voters.
I think we should vote on it. I think it should be on the thing.
Yeah.
I think it should be on the
People
warning.
feel comfortable. Yeah.
I agree.
I'm in agreement with that too.
There's a thinking about one direction, but every time you have, there's things swing to different sides, or a board that jumps on this could decide, we're gonna actually eliminate this article altogether and change it so that we, never close anything, which, okay, I mean, I don't know if that's, and, or that we could keep I don't know. I think it might be, I would imagine it would provide a little bit of stability and compromise within that language for right now. And so the whole group would get to vote on the change of that compromise. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I agree.
No, I agree.
I agree.
Yeah, I think you guys, we all worked really hard in getting that language to be something that protects schools, community schools, and yet leave some option if there's really a need, if in a dire situation, to protect all students. So I think, if we had gone with the language that you can't close schools, maybe I would feel different. But given that this provides protection and compromise, I think having it in the article is a good, particularly how hard we work to get to that place on this. So show of hands in terms of articles. Anybody not want it in the article?
You mean the warning?
I'm sorry, the warning, yes. Thank you. On the warning and then voted on as an article. All right.
So would you also, I think it would be helpful for those that are reviewing the study report and the articles to understand that that's your intent, and to convey that to the secretary and to the state board very clearly as well, so they understand that what the implications of that article. Sorry, Siri's yelling at me. So they fully understand the implications of your articles. So it'd be helpful if you want me to do that, you let me know.
Because the other side of it, or a board could then get on and go, let's cancel Article 14 and let's close this school, and this school, is the other side of it, right? So I also just want to clarify, is that the recommendation of the superintendents and Tracy? Like, is that the direction you could potentially think we should go?
Well, I'll go first and say, I don't have an answer or a recommendation for you. I heard your analysis of the pros and cons and fully understand and see the value and importance of collaborating to support educational opportunities for students. And I understand the importance of getting broad community buy-in and support in order for that to happen. And there's some sort of kind of political compromise that seems to be needed in order to bring people together positively. And, as stakeholders and representatives who bring a lot of community perspectives, I have to look back to you to say, what do you think is best? Nobody predicted a pandemic, so things do go sideways, but if something completely unexpected happens, do you think the boards and communities will have the tools they need to work it out positively? And, what do you think is best to position students and communities positively for high quality education in the most affordable way you can going forward? It's a political question.
Patrick or Tracy, did you want to respond?
I don't.
Patrick or Sheila, sorry. Okay. All right.
Sorry,
Sarah,
I was
anything
trying to
else?
find my unmute button. I would really just echo what Tracy was saying. It's really more of a political conversation than anything. And I think what this committee needs to do, as it has been working to do from the beginning, is thread that needle of what will sort of pass the straight face test with the community from that political side, but also position the future new board to do what it needs to do to serve our kids well. I think that's essentially what Tracy's saying, and that makes sense to me. And I think part of what the effort here would be is to satisfy concerns that folks have, and I think putting that on the ballot would satisfy some, and I think there's probably nothing you could put in these articles that would satisfy others, when we recognize every single article here has a process through which it can be changed.
Right.
The processes are different, but they all can be changed somehow, some way. So if a community is looking for a guarantee that something will be written here and will never ever change, I don't think this committee can offer that, because it's not an option.
Right, but that's true of their situation, all of our situations currently as well. So, okay, so do we want to give directions for Tracy to share that with the state board? Let me give a thumbs up for that. I'm sorry, I can't. Maybe Patrick, if you mute, I can see the whole group.
All thumbs up here.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. I see you now. All right, Tracy, did you need anything else on that? Okay, I'm going to keep moving through the articles. So we have 14C is preference to operate as a supervisory district.
Doesn't need to be, it doesn't need to be on there. It's just a communication to the state board, and they'll take that feedback or not.
Yeah. Article 14D, school. Tracy, can that get changed? I mean, it seems impractical.
Yeah, technically it could, but I can't imagine how a board could make
It's
that change
impractical.
and still comply with 14B, keeping schools open. I just think it's not necessary.
Okay, anybody have anything? Go ahead.
I think she said to leave it off, and I agree with that.
Yep. Okay. And speak up, because as I say, I can't see you guys right now. So 14E, community involvement.
Can I ask why that says optional?
All of 14 say optional, I believe, because they are not required, but it's true some of the other ones, right, don't say optional. Tracy,
Yeah.
can you speak to that?
None of
just
the other
missed
ones say optional. Okay.
Deleting it. Thank you.
Do you want to deal with Kevin's question?
So community involvement, do we want that included in the articles? Right, I'm not seeing anybody speaking to that. So it sounds like the one we want is to protect community schools in the articles. Any other discussion on the warning. Okay, we'll move on then. Dissolution of the committee. Tracy, can you speak to timing of that and how all that works?
Yes, the committee is dissolved when the results of the vote are certified and sent to the Secretary of State, or when the co-chairs, if you decide, if at some point between now and State Board of Education approval, you reverse your decision to recommend that it go forward to a vote, when that is communicated to the Secretary of Education by the co-chairs.
Any questions on that discussion? Okay.
So throughout some sort of period after November 8th, if there's any business that the committee needs to do after November 8th. Typically, I don't think there is, just so you know, but through the vote.
Okay. Sharing articles and reports.
I wanted to let you know that in the timeline, kind of in the spirit of timeline, that you are required to share the articles and report with with the school boards impacted, ANWSD, MAUSD, and I presume Lincoln as well. So as soon as we are done the report, I'll be sure that a complete copy is shared with those bodies, and they have an opportunity to tell you or to review it and give you any additional feedback. You also have already gone above and beyond by providing opportunities for feedback throughout the process, including on the articles of agreement themselves. But wanted to be sure that you knew that that was a I that needed to be dotted and a T that needed to be crossed, and that I'd assist you with taking care of that. The other thing I wanted to let you know is that I have been keeping the state board up to date on your work and your decisions, and let them know that you decided to recommend that the question go to voters at your last meeting, and the secretary asked for a copy of the draft articles. So I did share them with him. I'll need to share them with the revisions recommended by your legal counsel around Starksboro as soon as I can after today's meeting. But I wanted to let you know what his response to the sharing was. And that was that this is really parallel to the information that he shared with the superintendents previously. He encourages me and the committee to resolve these issues to the satisfaction of all regional stakeholders in advance of the board's meeting. He looks forward to reading the full report, but his recommendation will likely hinge on to what extent the proposal will bring stability to the region from a school governance perspective. So I just wanted to be sure that you got that communication, which was essentially to you about what he hopes to see.
Any questions about that?
I've got a question. There's a rumor that the MAUSD board, which is meeting tomorrow night, thinks they're going to get a copy of the articles by end of day today. Is that reasonable? Or the report, let me say that.
My ability to support got a curveball as I've been under the weather, but I will do everything in my power to finish a report that meets your expectations as soon as possible, and we can try and get that to them with even tonight in draft form, if that's what's most helpful, so that they can review it tomorrow. I definitely got interrupted, so I'm sorry about that.
I bring it up because it seems like a quick turnaround.
I think we're pretty close, and it's really about the recommendation and maybe fine tuning some language and merging the appendices into the document, which is a more administrative task. but I could share it in draft form with those appendices linked as PDFs pending a more formal merging of those documents into a single PDF to be respectful of those boards.
Anything else on that?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So back to Tracy, what you said a second ago about the board, the person who said that they wanted stability and school governance out of this.
That's
I'm
the
thinking-
Secretary of Education.
Okay, Dan French?
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm thinking while talking here, so that's probably a bad idea. My question is, we now have two schools trying to pull out or pulling out of a district we already had because of this process. If the State Board of Ed tells us we can't go further with the process, are they still gonna allow those people to leave? Which, I don't know, it feels like there's factors that they can control and factors that we can control. And I'm just wondering, what is the onus on this group to provide stable governance of schools versus the State Board of Education? I guess I'm confused.
Well,
No.
unfortunately, I'm not sure that the State Board of Ed has discretion to approve or not approve. Ultimately, the withdrawing district's withdrawal process, right?
I guess my question is, you made it sound like they could say no to this merger if they felt like it was going to create instability in school governance.
They cannot say no to the merger, and they cannot say no to withdrawing districts that go through the proper process and get the votes. What they can do, and what the committee discussed quite a bit last time, is make decisions about supervisory union assignment. And that's what the secretary is speaking about. He's going to recommend a supervisory union assignment to the State Board of Education, which may not be a supervisory district for a merged UUSD between ANWSD and MAUSD if it's formed. And that would be challenging in that it makes it difficult to achieve the central office efficiencies, and both financial and operational, that the study says are there.
Previously, I can get out of meeting clarification on that.
Yeah.
I don't know what people's time.
I might be able to offer a clarification from my report last week in one statement. It seems from conversations with the Secretary of Education and work that's been ongoing with the State Board, it seems very possible, perhaps even likely, should Starksboro be successful in their withdrawal, that the recommendation from the Secretary of Education to the State Board will be to form a supervisory union in our region, which could include Addis Northwest, MAUSD, or if we merge, the new merged district, as well as Lincoln, Starksboro, and Ripton school districts.
Thanks, Patrick. Anything further on sharing the articles and report? Okay, so let's move on to agenda item 4, finalized report. Tracy, can you go over the legal recommendations?
Yes, the legal recommendation pertains to Article 2. And eliminates reference to Starksboro as an advisory district. The Agency of Education and our legal counsel consulted this morning, and based on the status of the vote by other towns on Starksboro's proposed withdrawal from MAUSD, they will not be in a position, they cannot be in a position to warn such a vote, therefore cannot be an advisable district. So it's recommended that Article 2 be revised to simply say that the Lincoln School District is advisable.
Would that affect A and B in Article 1? Or A?
No. A and B still would stand and would clarify whether Starksboro votes as part of MAUSD or not, depending on where they are in the process. Does that make sense? So if they get that approval vote, they exist and therefore don't vote as part of MAUSD. And if they, I don't know what I said, if they don't, they are part of MAUSD and vote. And if they do get that withdrawal ratification by September 12th, so they have a month, they would not vote as part of MAUSD.
It doesn't address them becoming advisable though.
That's correct. That's exactly what legal counsel said. We cannot let them do because, or cannot include in the articles because they will not be in a position to warn the question as an advisable district.
And to summarize, Tracy, I think what you've said and I'm understanding is either Starksboro votes on withdrawal as part of MAUSD or Starksboro doesn't vote on withdrawal.
Yes.
You mean merger?
I meant merger, yes, merger,
Yes,
sorry.
merger, yes. Sorry, good catch. You know, and I could imagine this is an example of a reason that the state board might want you to have a concurrent meeting. They might say, we really want you to include Starksboro as advisable. And, you know, they would get input from the AOE's legal counsel. We could make sure that your legal counsel is available and you can make a decision, but all I can do is give you the best advice that your legal counsel is giving you for now, and we'll take it one step at a time.
So it may be helpful for us to have legal counsel available at that time.
Can I ask if this will, I'm sorry if this was covered last time. Do we need to adjust our board membership charts as well?
No. Yeah, the way your articles are written, they cover whether Lincoln is advisory or not. And the board will have the authority to immediately adjust board board configuration if Starksboro withdraws.
Thank you.
Okay, anything further on that piece of the final report? Okay. Name of new UUSD. Do we really have to find a name? Go ahead, Tracy. Sorry, go ahead, Erica.
Are we discussing comments on the report itself? Is there an opportunity?
Yep, I was going to do that after.
After?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
After, yep. Or I guess, I mean, we can go through report as part of recommendations. Does that make more sense?
But I don't see another place on the agenda for it.
All right, let's do that now then.
Can I make a comment then?
Go ahead.
Okay. I would really like to revise the way the pros and cons are presented. Because I feel like putting them next to each other is misleading in that it makes you assume that this pro is being weighted against this con.
I agree.
So I didn't have time before the meeting, but I did to email it, but I did just copy and paste them into lists instead. Or also I made another document that is a chart, but it's like pro, and then another chart, con. So if you like that chart, just visual, it's still that way, but it's all the pros together and all the cons together. So I'm wondering if we can address that, or is that too complicated?
No, I
So
like it.
I'm happy to make that change for you if you'd like that. Which would you like first?
Oh, in my arrangement, I put the cons first, just to get all the bad news out of the way and on a more uplifting note.
Great.
Can I just have a thumbs up if people are good with that change? And I can't see the whole group unless someone talks, says something.
We want pros first.
I think we need more discussion.
Okay, so some people want pros first. Let's talk about that. Go ahead, Kevin.
Wasn't me.
Well,
believe it or not.
Troy.
I'm just thinking, like, for me, if I'm looking at it, I immediately want to know like why, like I want to hear the pros. And the further I get down the list, I'm like, I've heard all these pros and I might not feel as bad about some of the cons. Versus if I'm starting with a whole bunch of cons, I'm like already in a bad mind space before you can get to the pros. That's just me
I agree.
thinking about my thinking.
All right, Erica, how do you feel about putting the pros first, but doing that organizational piece? That's all good.
I defer to the group wisdom.
All right, if we put the pros first, but do it organizationally, one then the other, everybody good with that change? Thumbs up. Okay, any further discussion?
I also don't mind if it was two columns that weren't in a table form.
Yep.
Bulleted, and so they don't,
That
they
would be
start to
fine too. Yeah.
be unpaired, and either of those would be okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I apologize. I must say that I didn't get as far along on that as I wanted to. So I did some last minute edits right before the meeting as well. So sorry about that.
All right, other comments? Do we want to go through it piece by piece? How do we?
Yes.
Okay.
I really need you to do some significant work on the recommendation and rationale, which has to be your voice.
So Tracy, would you rather have us do that first?
That's pretty much the first part of the report.
Yeah, so
So
let's start
yes.
with that.
On the recommendation, I would say that it wasn't, there was there was one dissent, so it makes it sound like we all recommended it. So we know that there was discussion of pros and cons, but it wasn't like unanimous. And I think this makes it sound like it was unanimous, even though there was one dissent. I do think that needs to be, I do think that that's important.
Is there one or two dissents?
Technically one. Or potentially two. Plus, people weren't here.
But it doesn't say it's unanimous.
It doesn't, but there were people that were missing too. I mean, how many people were missing from that vote?
I was.
So the easy way out of that is put in there in parentheses after merger study committee by a vote of for and against,
I think that would be more representative of what.
recommends.
Yeah.
I guess I understand what you're saying, but I'm also of the ilk that the committee is the committee. And the committee moved forward based on our parameters that we were working under, and all we had to have was the majority. So the committee did what the committee was asked to do. We got the majority, and this is our recommendation. I don't know what the state wants to see and if they want to see that. But I think we can put a whole bunch of nice language in there about after months of careful study and input from professionals and questioning of the community, we have come to believe and recommend that a merger would enhance the future, like, you know, we can flower that up for a bunch of paragraphs. If that's what
Yeah.
you're looking for. Is that what you're looking for? Like
Yeah,
some flowery prose?
I also,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's appropriate here, but it feels to me that the rationale, the whole reason why we're doing this work is, you know, because of the finances. And I don't know that that is as clear as it should be. So I'm wondering if that could really be heavily placed in here.
Yeah, this is just excerpted from your presentation from the PowerPoint and reorganize. It's just a starting point and make it better, please.
I like that. You know, I think the big pieces are the finance and then the impact that has on student opportunities. I would say from my perspective in terms of, you know, putting the vote of the committee, and maybe it's from like always being involved in team sports, it's sort of the, you know, the team, everybody has their pieces to it, but as we decide based on our group, that's, you know, I'm sort of in it for, I might not agree with everything we did along the way, but I'm kind of in it for, you know, this is where we got, and I think together we got here. So I'm sort of more of the mind of not putting in, you know, who did what, who voted what in that piece, but I'm open to hearing more in terms of people's thoughts on that.
I wasn't there for the actual vote. Was it a roll call vote?
No, it wasn't a roll call vote.
That may answer the question.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
And I do like the idea of putting in that we spent this much time like reviewing the data and talking it through. I think that might be the way to address, like we really looked at pros and the cons.
Do we want to try to wordsmith this? I think Troy, you had some good, go ahead, Sarah.
How long is this recommendation? Is it like a one paragraph? Is it 4 pages or like, yeah, I'm just, you know what I mean? I'm curious. Is it two? I'm reading the Addison Northwest Act 46 was 2 paragraphs. And though their reports are a little bit different in some ways, but, and then the other one
I think it can, I would suggest short. I think
Okay.
a lot of people are only going to read this part, right? By the way, you can combine your recommendation and rationale into one section if you want. I think a lot of people are only going to read this part, and those that, and some people will dive deeply and read the whole report. But I think of this as almost an executive summary that might be where most people pay attention. This and the articles of agreement themselves are the most important parts of the report. And again, I pulled from your presentation to the community to give kind of a layman's version of the articles of agreement right after that, which people might look at. And you may want to discuss, but I think it's got to be short and really clear. And it's worth assuming that this is the main part that people are going to focus on, this and the articles.
I mean, there is the second paragraph of the MAUSD one before starts with, we believe that unifying into one supervisory district presents the best opportunity for all of our students. I think that's really our #1 goal, right? Was.
Yeah.
And
Not just ours,
the
but
high
the
school
community.
level, maybe, or the, what do you call that? The secondary level? I don't
I
know.
think it is for both,
Right.
elementary too.
And
Yeah.
stability in the region, sorry.
So he's putting it right in there right now.
Yeah, I like that, Sarah.
Yeah.
It actually does create a lot of stability. I think that they're coming at it from maybe the wrong perspective to it.
Everybody works.
Okay,
Oh, you want me to just
Go
add?
ahead.
yeah.
I have typed some things in.
Yeah,
People
I
type
like
what
what you typed. It's very
Okay.
good.
So I think that's fine. I'm gonna have you guys read what you've typed just in terms of the open meeting piece of this. Yeah, I do agree with the stability. In fact, without a merger,
I think we're more unstable.
the stability of meeting that quality standards for students without a merger going to be pretty tough. Due to, and I think it's the finance piece, right? Let me know when you guys want to speak to what you've typed in.
Do you want us to read it out loud so the people can hear it?
I do, yeah.
We do that in a moment.
Yeah, can we like
Yep.
take a break and have like a work session? I mean,
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Do we want to break into groups for that, or do you? I mean, you guys have a small, not a very big group there. Do you guys want to?
I think if everybody just typed and then we started to read it out loud, like have 4 minutes of type time and then start to write or read
Okay,
it.
yeah, let's do that.
I don't know if we want between. We don't know if it's two. Right? Can't get in there. Or delete. Take me out.
where I would like clarity around that 13 to 15%. Remember our discussion around that? With,
I think it says it down below.
Are you talking to me? Did I just type something?
no, I'm thinking back to when we were making the video. We
Oh,
were
I did my own now.
It's 13 to 15% over the next, whatever.
Right, what was that?
I think there's a chart down below.
Okay, thanks.
I think it's in here.
Oh,
13
thanks,
to-
Tracy.
Through FY 27.
Um,
I'm gonna put this-
Do we want to say anything about sort of the, mention this as, I mean, it's almost a solution to this problem from declining enrollment at the high school, middle school level,
Yeah,
mhm.
we have to fit that in.
so. Yeah, I mean, yeah, do we want that as a first sentence? Like, in response to the dire, no, I don't know.
It's a good point, but I'm not sure if it's the leader. I think the first paragraph that's being worked on is a good introduction, and then the
Part of the rationale.
concern over reduced.
Yeah.
And the driving and the resulting cost challenges. Maybe work together.
Needs wordsmithing.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Stability.
Yeah, like,
Okay.
like,
So
I
just take
I
it.
don't know what the word is.
Administrative.
I know. The board stability be much greater. More stable.
Do you want to add something in about the specific about the cost savings? Administrative, and then, what? And then as well as the other amounts of cost savings.
Wait, my math is gonna be off here. No, this can't. On a $200,000 property, a 13% increase over that amount of time, $26,000. Can't be right.
It's the
Is it
13%
the
on
rate?
their
13%
taxes. So if you paid
So then-
10,000 this year, you're now paying 13 to 15,000 for the same, for less. So it's not
I'm
on
just
the
wondering,
value
like,
of your
how can we-
house, it's on the value of your taxes.
So it's right, like we need an exam. I'm just gonna put in here. Need numbers examples here.
It's a nice idea, Troy. Throw it out there.
Hearing for students in the back of the room. Good job. I can't hear anyone else. I can hear. Yeah.
Hard to edit at the same time other people.
Mhm.
Anxiety can't handle it.
It's how it normally works. Okay, let's do this.
Meetings with new students, setting up their.
Simpler governance.
Governance, maybe administrative, financial, and educational.
So administration would be considered
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
and I think it's about our board.
Yeah, so maybe something.
um,
Provide stability.
I'm putting in the word. Simpler.
Oh, yeah, more efficient governance.
Okay,
Like,
yeah,
and greater.
so get rid of
So, but like,
provide, get rid of that, yeah. The voters, like the word
not way,
efficient.
no, it's more direct. Government, more-
Texted you during the meeting.
That was in Greenwood Reservoir.
I know. I know.
With the balloons.
I was doing the same, but not at Green River. I was in Hubbardton at Half Moon. So it was like a 10-minute drive to get anywhere.
Like, wait, what's the word we're looking for? Uncluttered. Smooth.
Accountable. maybe?
Accountable. We're struggling with the word in front of governance.
In front of governance.
Yeah,
where
in the
Accountable,
recommendation.
Provide greater equity and also provide.
Had different words. I'm gonna throw them in there so that Eric will get mad at me, but.
No,
simpler.
it's good, it's good.
So accountable to who?
Trans-
Taxpayers?
Yeah, like what well, we don't want to go back to a spaghetti structure. So I think there's
Just go
a,
direct. Governance isn't-
Streamlined.
you think it's the wrong word, governance?
Yeah.
How else would we express the
So we,
board?
we're organization, yeah.
Leadership.
Leader.
How about you just take that all out and
Leaders-
just say provide more financial and educational stability in our region?
Yeah.
Or greater.
Then I
Great.
think, but I think it's not just when you say educational, is that just about the kids? I think what I was trying to get at was the first half was about the kids, and the other half is about like the community members, which includes kids, but is also
Streamlined, which shows that it's simple.
Governance.
Which- efficient was good. Okay.
Governance
Provide
has a
more
bad
efficient
connotation
governance.
with a lot of people.
More efficient governance.
Maybe leadership.
So leadership can be
Instead of-
misconstrued with the
Yeah.
actual leaders
Right.
that we pay. So
So
I'm talking about
Yeah.
school
I
board
think if we're
structure.
talking about the school board, I
elections.
agree with Kevin. We should just say school board and not use the word governance. Because I think that's kind of, like, if I wasn't in this
Or even if,
situation, I wouldn't know that governance meant something different than the superintendent. So
Let's see what other
you could
people have
even
said.
put,
Can
School board
everybody in there
governance.
hear us?
We can start to read through
we're
it.
all muted.
Are we the only ones muted?
Do we want to start reading through it?
We're still struggling with this.
Yeah.
How to
Okay, let's continue then
Oversight.
in our group.
governance.
We call it like governance.
Okay, what about?
Oh, careful, Troy.
I don't like
Go for it.
I don't like words being said over and over.
Yeah, I
So we
agree.
say provide greater equity and also provide. What if we just say provide greater equity, more efficient governance? Take that out.
So should we move provide greater equity to enhance educational opportunities and provide greater equity for students, like break it into the two halves?
I like that.
Because those are really the main pieces about the students.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to do that? We're still in recommendation.
Like, why are you putting-
I mean, I think there's also, you know, a connection between the governance at the administrative level, or
That's true.
equity, and having, you know, a one administration, one curriculum coordinator
wrote a lot of this from the
goes
state
to
board,
equity as well.
but I can't edit this document, so I'm gonna share my state board statements with you, and you can copy and paste at anything you want. I just
Thank you.
can't edit.
Great.
Because I had to think of all those words already.
Okay, I appreciate that. Break it up.
I
Is
think
that-
we
is
should
that the
break
whole
it
thing?
up.
Is that
Yeah,
one
she-
just one sentence?
It is. one
Yes.
sentence. It should be broken up for clarity of reading.
Just a little bit ago.
It could easily be broken up.
It should have a period after the parentheses.
All right,
Put a period there
I'm gonna go with,
Yeah, and then
and then say,
advance education.
in order to enhance educational opportunities and provide greater.
You don't know.
all right. Hold on, here I go.
You can just go to enhance educational opportunities.
Who's doing this?
You can choose.
Enhance educational- enhance educational opportunities and provide
I
greater-
think some of those words should be the last paragraph.
The last paragraph, okay.
And some, I don't know, sort of fill out. Yeah, we have to.
Oh, coherent is so lovely. A single organizational structure results. I'm gonna snag this and you guys can do what you want with it.
Sarah, are you putting that?
I'm adding something
Enhance?
in here. We're gonna fix it. I'm just putting in a couple things.
You got this.
You're missing golf for this, so this is important.
I know, Troy, thank you.
Dig a little deeper.
Adam let me know today, he was playing with a friend. She couldn't make it.
A lot of friends.
You think that's more the rationale, though? A single organizational structure results in coherent systems.
No, I just want to, I think that we were talking about this governance and efficient governance. and So I think we wanted to have it
Yeah.
translate to how that can also help students. So.
Yeah.
also more,
How about just put in, and also a coherent system of teaching and learning to provide pre-K-12 students greater
I think we should just keep that sentence.
Tracy, are you there?
I'm here.
Can you give me edit access? This is Sheila.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't have it.
Stephanie's crushing rationale.
Yours. Trying. Could be hit in the heart.
Oh, I like what. Where's Kevin's comment? It's school-based. Oh, I agree. I agree. Now I get how to work this thing. Figure out what he's referring to. There's a lot of things at one time. Right?
Back to 1 sentence.
Oh, did something just happen? Oh, I see. Nice.
Feel like when you timestamp the recommendation, it's a little tricky. Over the past, oh, I'm only gonna say it that way just because don't get a t-shirt made with a date
Unless it's a road race.
unless it's a road race.
Your wedding.
And it didn't get postponed because of COVID. Okay. For more than 11 months.
That's probably.
Okay. I don't think we need. I think, can I do it? All right. When it says at the top, more about the current state of the two districts, should we highlight what they actually are? And then we can eliminate the one in the parentheses.
There's some of that, Sarah, down in the rationale.
I know, it's just the first paragraph. I feel like we should.
It's right there.
And
The
W,
first part
okay,
is
then we're
more
fine.
about The recommendation,
Okay.
the next part is more of the rationale.
Okay.
Here's why.
Good call. As a result, the merger study committee recommends a merger into a unified union school district in the district to enhance educational opportunities, provide greater equity for students, and hold on.
What's the word for catching students up? Not recovery.
It's another word like that.
Yeah.
Not recovery?
Response.
ESSER stands for what?
It stood for recovery, but I feel like
European Society of Musculoskeletal Radiology. The rest.
And you wonder almost if we start to.
response or recovery. It's one of those. It was first recovery and then response. So, study plan. So districts enhance educational opportunities, provide greater equity for students, and increase financial. Oh, what just happened? Very rationale.
That's the name of the report.
Do we have to do that? I don't like it.
Yeah, maybe we don't need
Last bit.
K-12.
The K-12
solutions
solutions
whole title.
entire report.
In there. I mean, nothing else is picked out. That's.
You're hungry, Al?
And we're not putting in NASDAQ,
what's
we're not putting in any of that
What's
stuff.
the
So I'm
call?
like,
I was wondering that too, Sarah.
Yeah.
feels a little
Yeah.
too much. Sorry, Tracy.
Yeah, that's good. Perfect.
I feel like starting to say 7 years ago.
Statewide school enrollment has been
This is just until the
Should be
next.
other reports, since reports is already mentioned.
I was
I
wondering.
don't know, yogurt? No, not a yogurt either. How about some cheese?
I'm gonna get my.
Mozzarella? Turkey? Chicken salsa?
Quick, get those articles. Yeah.
But either at the table or either here or here.
Happen.
I think they shut their mics off because somebody was making lunch or something. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I'll just put professional.
I think it would be simpler if it was
I was thinking that when I read
understood,
it, but it's
but you get what I'm saying?
completely
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yourself. Not that you get from
I know.
sources. I know that's your
It's
job.
it's my plug for it.
I know.
Um,
I'm not knocking
we
you.
have decreased.
I think you're excellent.
Okay, so let's see. First.
What? Just jumped. Here it is.
Yeah, it's Troy. He's very aggressive in there.
Troy? Is it hurting my eyes?
Anybody like that?
Can't keep up with you right now.
Without merging, because nutrition staff need to be significantly decreased. Negative.
I basically put in a sentence about the fact that the whole reason that this committee exists is because the school boards are trying to do some future planning around.
Future planning is such a great phrase.
Mhm.
Let me go read it.
Supports.
Only the word significantly because we just feel like.
Right.
I'm gonna go find a
Did we?
new one.
I think we took those out.
We did?
Yeah. Now it's
Just,
drastically.
Oh, and we can get rid of my weird.
I also come
clauses.
back to something Kevin has said repeatedly. Merging doesn't mean that you're going to eliminate all staffing, all of the decreased staffing, but it means you're going to do it more strategically and more thoughtfully with less impact on students, right? I think you've made that point several times, like merging doesn't necessarily mean we're still not going to make reductions and think about, but it's more strategic and future goal oriented about,
Yes,
and it can be done through attrition and.
More
Right.
options.
And you have a lot more options that are more palatable to the school boards than just.
In the
sheer
programs.
Numbers and programs. But I don't know how to say that.
Sheila's been adding it as you speak. So who is the audience for this
Everyone.
rationale?
Oh, and the state board, but everybody.
Everybody.
Because
Community.
as the member of the public, I know what Act 46 is, but I don't know what 77 and 173 are. So maybe either to explain them or just say
Define or eliminate.
new legislation or, yeah.
Oh, Liz is here. Oh, geez.
Troy, how about that language? I just said sort of the opposite.
Okay.
I think the reference to staff cuts really should focus on opportunities for students that will result after staff cuts, as opposed to how many or by what mechanism, attrition or RIFs. Because I think in either case, as we were talking before, reductions in staffing will need to happen. That's where the savings are going to come from. And merger or no merger, that can happen through attrition. The merger difference really is what's left for programming and support for students after those cuts.
It's the ability for the school leadership to have many more options than they currently have, right? In essence, so it's providing some flexibility.
But I think what Patrick is saying, that there's going to probably be some
Yeah.
staff cuts that are still going to occur.
Yes.
And
So
that's,
let's make that clear,
Yeah.
because
Right.
we shouldn't lie.
No.
Lead to that, like, oh, everything's gonna be fine to teachers, because we know there's gonna be some staff cuts over the years coming.
and it's critical for people to understand, these significant budgetary issues that are coming down the pike. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think, the point is, no matter what, we're going to have to reduce staffing to save dollars. We can either reduce staffing in a way that has a significant negative impact on student programming, or we can reduce staffing in a way that has little impact, if anything, maybe positive impact on student programming from the current state. And that's the merger scenario. Because we can take advantage of attrition as separate districts as well. I do agree, Troy, that it enhances our ability to take advantage of attrition and have that flexibility. But we've probably reduced 40 positions in the last 5 years in MAUSD, and the vast majority have been through attrition. So that's an option either way. But the result for students in a merger is we make those reductions in a way that preserves or enhances programs.
So maybe that second sentence, instead of saying without merging and increasing efficiencies, it could say through merging and increasing efficiencies.
Whoa.
Staffing.
What happened?
staffing, staffing can
Where to
be
go?
utilized. You know, I think you don't even talk about the cutting, you just say staffing can
Okay, there we
be
go. Through.
maintained in a manner that lessens impacts, right?
Can be adjusted.
Through
Yeah.
merging.
Right, I think what Kevin's saying
Yeah.
can be adjusted,
Yeah.
not maintained.
Yeah.
Right, because
Yeah.
because
I guess
maintain, I think
Yeah,
implies
I
that
guess,
things will stay the same.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
not, that's
It
not.
depends on how
what's-
you read it. I view maintained as, we have to maintain a school. We might not need 10 staff, we might need 8 to maintain the best pro, you know what I mean?
But that interpretation, we don't know,
That
open for
Yeah.
interpretation.
Well, that's good, intentional stuff.
We're changing the,
Create
fewer.
negative.
Yep, go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna change that to fewer.
Yep. Create.
Is there any significance at this point in that, and I'm sorry I was late, and thank you all, this is really great work. I'm excited about what's getting written. Is there any significance in for this in that we currently have a staffing shortage? It's almost like we went backwards. Instead of saying that we would need to reduce staff in order to meet the budget goals, we're at a point where we're looking for staff, right? Like it's almost like it kind of happened on its own. And now we have to make do with the staff that we can find. So I don't know if that has a place in here.
No, I think it does. I think it's actually really important that that idea gets in
Except
here.
that in the high school and middle school, my understanding is there's not a shortage. That
Oh, yeah, there is.
people have left and not been replaced,
Yes,
and like purposefully not being replaced.
but also we're trying to hire those positions.
Oh,
and
okay.
can't
I
as
don't know,
well.
is
It's a
that
little bit of
true?
both.
Is that true
Depends
for
on the
Jen?
position, depends on positions.
Yeah.
Is that also true for Jen? Okay.
A lot of
So
our
one more-
school psychologists are case managers.
For.
Something like 30 positions that we couldn't hire.
I could download.
All right.
We didn't have one senior reported who was going to major in education next year. They couldn't, there's a scholarship that goes to somebody who's majoring in education, and they could find it.
So I'm seeing fewer, I guess.
Read it?
Yeah, a couple of suggestions in the last list, but I think otherwise. Somebody want to take on the task of reading it?
So
You want me to read out loud or someone to read out loud the recommendation?
Yeah,
So it's
let's
out
see
there.
how it sounds. And also for public record,
You want to
or
do it?
public meetings. Go ahead, Sarah. Thank you.
All right, I'll do this one. For more than 11 months, the ANWSD, MAUSD Merger Study Committee met to learn about the current state of the two districts. The committee heard reports on enrollment trends, financials, academic programming, transportation, and numerous other reports and studies. The committee sought community input from many different stakeholders on the goals and priorities and used that feedback to craft articles of agreement for a proposed merger. As a result of that study, the Merger Study Committee recommends a merger of ANWSD and MAUSD into a unified union school district to enhance educational opportunities, provide greater equity for students, and increase financial and educational stability in our region. Our study indicates a merged single organizational structure will provide a coherent system of teaching and learning pre-K through 12 with a greater ability to provide better outcomes for learners and cost efficiency for taxpayers.
That's a 21st century skill, Sarah.
Well,
Reading while the text is moving.
Thank you, Troy.
So a couple of edits were made as you were reading.
There was too much reports in one part.
I changed financials to financial projections.
Great.
Yeah, and there was
Transporters. So, and then it says, and more. Is that what we're going with or more?
I don't like and more.
I don't like and more. I think we need and
Third line.
enrollment,
Heard reports.
academic
an
transportation
additional material.
and additional materials or material. Word.
So we have in that sentence and the one further down, we have financials ahead of education. I don't know if that's a good way to lay out. The
We're
issues
here
or not.
because of that though. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, your financial projections 100% affect your academic program.
We wouldn't have formed this committee if we didn't have a problem with financial scenarios. I agree with you. So maybe we do one of them earlier and one of them later. I don't know.
Inputs, resources. and
Resources.
Resources.
Or-
Well, we heard.
I just think
reports on,
Education covers it. I don't
we
think
heard reports on.
I agree.
Okay,
Like it. It's never gonna be perfect.
Is it like a consultant? Like
A coherent system or a more coherent system? I kind of want to put more.
yeah.
Just saying.
All right, someone want to take on reading the next, the rationale? Or at least part of the rationale? Or Sarah, if you want to continue?
You want me
I
to do
didn't
it?
write it.
All
I'm
right, I
gonna,
can do it.
all right, Stephanie,
All
there you
right.
go.
Statewide school enrollment has been declining and educational costs continue to rise. To maintain programming at its current state in the face of this decreasing enrollment at our high school and middle school levels, our school districts are facing predicted 13 to 15% tax increases through fiscal year 2027. As a result of these significant pressures, educational funding and budgeting will be drastically impacted and our students would be negatively affected by program cuts. This committee was formed in an effort for the school boards to address these issues with future planning in mind. Through merging and increasing efficiencies, intentional staffing will create fewer negative impacts on both social, emotional, and academic programming and meaningful learning opportunities for students. Without the merger, student class sizes would increase beyond an optimal size. Fewer support staff would be available to support students with the greatest academic and social emotional needs, and educators would have decreased support and less high-quality professional development in a time when districts are still transitioning from Act 46, implementing Act 77's requirements for proficiency-based learning and personal learning plans, and now working to implement Act 173's new requirements for services and funding of those services for our most vulnerable students. This is also at a time when students are returning from remote and hybrid learning due to a pandemic, and data shows students are behind in social, emotional, and academic skills.
Wait, is weighted study in here?
Isn't that 173?
Is that 173? Weighted study?
Act 177.3, implementing special education services through MTSS.
173 is the new law about people waiting, right?
No.
No.
Pupil weighting is just part of the ed funding formula.
Okay, sorry, keep going.
Okay.
Next paragraph.
In an effort to address these issues, each school board individually faces significant budget cuts that would negatively impact educational opportunities. A merger will provide an opportunity to reduce overhead, especially the central office footprint, maintain or even grow programs, and provide economies of scale to limit per pupil expenditures. With a merger, we can save a combined $5 million annually while sustaining or even increasing programs for students. Without a significant increase in taxes, an unmerged future would result in significant elimination of more programming, support, and opportunity when compared to an unmerged future.
Merged future. Unmerged future.
We need to
Okay.
change one of the significant in that last sentence too.
Can I ask if
I'm worried about the 5 million.
maybe
Yeah.
in that last paragraph, the second sentence starts, a merger will provide an opportunity. Maybe we would want to say a merger into a unified school district.
Mhm.
Because per our discussion last time, I think some of the benefits we list there would not be found if it was a supervisory union instead of a supervisory district. So maybe we just want to put, should I put that in there?
Yes. please, 'cause
Yes.
I can't try to find where you would put it.
I like it. So the board hears that. Can I also ask a question? I'm gonna highlight this and everybody can shout me down. I wonder about this part right here about the remote and hybrid learning and pandemic. I worry we would still be here without that. And I worry about some people saying, is this just a knee-jerk reaction to the pandemic? And should we just wait and let things settle down? I don't know. Because I feel like while that is important, that is not,
We'd be doing this anyway.
we'd be doing this 100% anyway without it. Yep. And it's not changing.
Delete sentence.
I'm just asking what
Go
how
for
you
it.
feel about that.
That's fine.
I agree with you. Who agrees? You want it in there?
Yeah, delete it.
Others?
Go for it.
Anybody
Erica,
really want it in there?
Erica wants it in there.
You want it in there?
Well, I mean, I think it could be,
Contextual.
yeah, I think we could say exactly what you said,
Okay.
that
What about this?
we would have done this work anyway, and then the pandemic came up to make this even more urgent.
How about this?
But I think also simplicity is good, so I could go either way and take it out.
What if we spin that sentence into a situation where, as the pandemic has just shown us,
Mhm.
the ability to combine and utilize resources in efficient manners can provide more stability to our students in an ever-changing future,
Unpredictable.
unpredictable
And-
future.
I like how Erica has it in there, in that even though the pandemic, is a separate issue, it does create more dire needs for students, right? Students are, and so it's yeah. I mean, I get that what you're saying, Troy, but I kind of like.
So maybe it's highlighted these issues. The pandemic has highlighted these issues.
Where'd it go?
Well, I like what Carol wrote, exacerbated these.
Yeah, but I didn't know how to finish because I was typing and
Yeah.
Troy was still talking and I lost the end of it.
I mean, the reality is that, we have greater needs
Mhm.
because of
Yeah.
this, I mean, we have received a lot of funding. But
It's temporary.
yes,
I guess my thought is people aren't running out to merge because of the pandemic.
I agree.
And we were gonna be meeting regardless of the pandemic.
Mhm.
I 100% understand why it's almost like it's uncovered more reasons why it's important to have really agile and flexible planning
Systems.
opportunities.
What if we just added a fourth thing in here?
I don't know. And maybe I'm just overthinking it and just leave it all as it was. People aren't gonna care.
Did a chat about it.
I think that the pandemic has not exacerbated these issues in, like, I don't think that belongs there because we're talking about implementing state policy and it implies that the issues that have been exacerbated are the policies. The student needs. I know, we move off with vulnerable students, but we haven't been talking about those, so.
So Tracy, so how does it look now? All right, Troy, does that look good?
I think we're,
Yes.
do we want to get rid of?
I think it's okay to leave it there and it's just showing why I like the last sentence.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not why we're here, but it highlights the importance of having strong systems in place. And that's what we're having. That's our rationale.
Okay, so Sarah, if you want to just read that last sentence or two sentences, just
Okay.
so people hear.
All right, I'm trying to find where to start here.
Go
Last,
back.
okay, so right here, so
This is.
Actually, do we have any visitors? Well, I guess if people watch it on the recording, so go ahead.
okay. This is also at a time when students are returning from remote and hybrid learning due to the pandemic, and data shows students are behind in both social, emotional, and academic skills, and the needs of students are heightened. It is more important than ever to have a strong yet flexible educational system for our students.
Keep going.
Okay.
I like reading that one.
In an effort to address these issues, each school board individually faces significant budget cuts that would negatively impact educational opportunities. A merger into a unified supervisory district will provide an opportunity to reduce overhead, especially the central office footprint, maintain or even grow programs, and provide economies of scale to limit per pupil expenditures. Projections indicate that with a merger, we can save $5 million annually while sustaining or even increasing programs for students. Without a significant increase in taxes, an unmerged future would result in significant elimination of more programming, support, and opportunity when compared to a merged future.
Can we talk about the $5 million? When people hear we're saving $5 million, they think we're saving $5 million, that we're decreasing by $5 million. So I don't know if the word save is,
It's a cost avoidance.
yeah,
So
And avoid
reallocate
spending.
up to
reallocation, yeah, of,
I mean, you are saving it in
How about reduced
essence.
spending?
Reducing.
Well, you're aligning, you're not reducing anything, you're just aligning your spend to the income you have.
People have to understand that we're comparing ourselves to the unmerged future, right? Like in
Right.
the merge, it's the same with Act 46. We don't have the comparison data to show how expensive we would be had we not merged, right? Have only our projections.
You can limit.
Saving,
I agree, saving is such a.
this is a hot button with a lot of people. That I voted for this and no, my taxes just went up. Nothing got saved.
I mean, they were mad about the claim that we would save money and it was $140,000 a year, and we never said we would save money with Act 46. So I
think we
What
should
about-
take it out because this previous sentence says it.
okay.
Yeah.
And it
Or if we
Where
want
we're-
specifics, we could flip it and say limit increases by up to 5 million a year.
Oh, there's that. I also just wanted to clarify, is it a merger into and I'm getting Tracy's feedback here, a unified supervisory district? Is that what we're doing, or we already fixed that one? Or is it a unified union, or is it a da-da-da-da-da?
If you take out reference to the 5 million, if you take out that line, we can just say unified union and not worry about whether it's a supervisory district or not. Because remember, that is contingent on the state board's determination of supervisory union services. And that has a $1.2 million, that will swing your savings by $1.2 million. So if there's no dollar amount, it doesn't matter.
Unified
You know,
union
but
seems
w-
redundant.
I mean, I brought that up because I kind of wanted us to emphasize that's what we want is the district,
School district.
not the union.
The school
I think we
district.
need to present that to the state board, those numbers, the difference between a unified and supervisory union. Right, we're gonna have to do that as part of our presentation. But if the state board approves the merger and then they create a supervisory union, then the amounts we save are gonna be different.
I don't.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I
no
wouldn't put
numbers.
numbers.
I wouldn't put any money, any numbers.
So can we just go back to calling it what we want it to be? Because I think we should be trying to initially be trying to say what we want it to be. I don't know.
Yeah,
Adapt it if we had to, but
Right.
Yeah, we're doing this all predicated on the
That's
assumption.
what we want.
this is what we
Yeah.
want.
That's what we're
That's what
recommending.
trying- That's what we want to merge into.
Okay.
And that's all the information we've been given is that we can do this.
yeah. Okay,
Got it.
so I think that's, do you want to keep going, Steph? You do such a nice job, right?
Thank you.
So are we keeping the
So are we deleting the,
the bullet points?
yeah, or are we leaving that?
Let's read it.
Okay. The ANWSD and MAUSD Merger Study Committee believes that if we work together and merge ANWSD and MAUSD into one union, we can sustain and expand programming for middle and high school students, increase cost effectiveness and slow tax rate growth, increase equity, ensuring all students have access to engaging, relevant, and high-quality learning opportunities.
Can I stop you? I think we need a bullet specifically addressing the elementary schools.
Let's say the
Uh-huh.
same.
Stabilizing elementary school education.
Streamline, it's almost like, what's the word to, you know, it's that whole sister school idea of, right, common curriculum
Protecting our
and,
small schools.
Yeah, supporting.
Stabilizing and streamlining.
I like the idea of stabilizing, just to
Okay,
continue to
stabilize.
throw their back at them.
Yeah, if you say streamlining, people will think that means.
Yeah, that will be consolidating, and that's not what we want.
And that's the opposite. of what-
Provide a more coherent system.
We don't want streamline.
No streamline.
oh, okay,
That sounds like you just cut it down.
all right. I'll read, you guys can type, how's that?
How about using the language you chose for the articles? Protect, sustain and protect high-quality learning opportunities at the elementary level
Nice.
or elementary schools. Sustain and protect our community, high-quality learning at our community elementary schools.
I like that.
I don't want to use the word community. Sorry.
Yeah.
Person.
You want some mac and cheese? for dinner?
Okay, I'll start at the top
I like
again
mac
here.
and cheese.
All right, so I'm gonna start from the new bullet. How's that? Okay. So sustain and I'll say protect high-quality education in elementary schools, increase cost effectiveness and slow tax rate growth, and increase equity, ensuring all students have access to engaging, relevant, and high-quality learning opportunities. To accomplish these goals, the unified union structure will enable the potential for combined middle and high schools, expanded grades served at the middle level, cost-effective practices and policies for elementary schools that promote collaboration, thoughtful use of resources, opportunities for all students, and school-based decision-making.
I like Kevin's comment about
Yeah, we don't, We don't want school-based decision making.
We don't want that in there.
Infers-
I agree.
So bounded, the talk has been, the term has been bounded from the Ledvinson report.
I think we just
I don't-
eliminate
I
it.
don't know.
Okay,
Yeah, because I don't know what that means and
otherwise. it-
Words get used again.
Oh, I do.
right, like if you know, you know.
All right. Okay. Continue? Or good? No. Okay, on to something else now.
In the interest of brevity, we can just point out what we don't like or propose to change
For the rest of it?
for the rest of it.
Yeah,
Or not.
I think we're going faster.
Yeah.
All right, so that sounds good. Looks like is everybody sort of thumbs up, good with this at this point? All right, nice work. All right, let's see.
Stephanie, be aggressive. Are you good with
Name-
that?
You could clarify that. with-
Am I eliminated?
Yep.
See,
So
Yeah.
are we ready to move on to the name for the new
No, actually,
UUSD or?
Can we
Go ahead,
run-
One more thing.
we want to run
Yeah.
through the report.
yeah, I like anything, I've got some other comments, you know?
Okay, so let's go through the rest of the report. Go ahead. So advantages and disadvantages.
This is our pros and cons. This is pros
Yes.
and cons. I like it
So-
and disadvantages more.
Yep, so are we good with let's see how that's now? It looks like somebody already did that work of changing how that was. Any,
Can we clarify in the report that this is the list that we
Yeah, I feel like
compiled
our
as
language
we
is
decided?
complicated.
Because I think to make it like really sound like a report, we would have to go through each of these points and make them more elegant. But if we just say, you know, this is the list that we worked from when it came time to make our decision or something, can we frame it in that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Tracy. I think that's a good way to say it. And then I just have one comment about the paragraph at the end. I found a
End of
little
what?
bit confusing, the paragraph at the end of the list of
the committee acknowledges,
just
acknowledge.
yeah, the committee acknowledged that the uncertainty about supervisory union services in the region is a challenge. It's like, I understand it because I was there for that discussion last week, but I felt like if I was just reading this as a person never having confronted that discussion, I would be confused by it. So I don't know exactly how to fix it, but I do feel like there's some clarification that could be made there.
It's transportation.
Yeah.
Is this a if this report is, makes it through this, all the people, but not our people, do we have an opportunity to adapt it, or is this like it? Because this seems like this paragraph is for one audience, and I'm worried that it then has to be used for other people and it would be confusing.
Go ahead, Tracy.
I was going to say you can add it or not. I was just trying to acknowledge your discussion about that. There was discussion that it was a con, and then there was a discussion that the centralization or the merger would be a pro, and the committee concluded it was neither. You could take it out and not address it here. I just didn't want to take the liberty of not acknowledging your discussion that it was neither.
I think it would be easier to state that the pros and cons, or the advantages and disadvantages, were based on the fact that this was for a supervisory district. I don't know if that was just in the initial paragraph and not like in it. There would be different advantages and disadvantages should this be a different type of union. Is that where we were? No, didn't agree. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the other piece, Tracy, you know, we could sort of keep a list of things that the merger study committee wants to get conveyed to the state board about the issue of a supervisory union versus a supervisory district.
I would think, for me, it's important that it's in the report because I want it to be on the record in a visible way that our intention was, so that if it ends up that we get put into a supervisory union and
That was somebody else's
people
plan.
are upset about it, I want it to be clear that our premise was a district, not a union.
I agree.
So I do think it should be in here, and I'm grateful that you put this paragraph in here, Tracy. So I support that instinct.
So looking at the language now, are people feeling like we're good with that language, or do we want to change?
This looks good.
Yeah.
Yes, much better.
All right, great. So articles, oops, am I on? Yeah.
But sorry, one more thing it does.
Yeah.
I don't see in there what Tracy was referring to before is that even if we were to have a supervisory union, it would still be better to be merged than not, which I thought was our conclusion.
Notwithstanding. No.
We still have control over the high school population. And I think that people forget that that's one of our main goals. And so if we merge, we have a lot of control over the high school and the middle school population. And if we're in some weird amoeba map, then those other towns actually only they don't have control over their high school students, and I think, or middle school.
Unless they keep them in their towns.
Just the budget.
Right. Since I think the main goal is about the high school and the middle school and stability, it would be nice to convey that.
Thank you, Tracy. I think that's
what.
Yeah.
And that can be emphasized at that meeting on the 20th, right, Tracy?
Are we presenting?
Yes, it can be.
All right. Oh,
If
go ahead,
it's helpful, I can speak to that briefly. I expect that it will largely be a discussion of the State Board of Education. You might have 5 or 10 minutes to introduce the report, you can assume they have read it in advance and you know they've already watched your video and heard from you, so they have background. So I think really it's about planning 5 minutes of key points that you want to make and asking if they have questions and being available to answer them. I'll clarify that with the vice chair and chair of the state board, but that's what I expect.
Wait.
I
Go ahead.
Sorry, I went ahead and did this, we can delete it. There was discussion a moment ago about having a single union district where decisions are being made equitably for all students pre-K through 12. So I'm just wondering if it's worth putting that statement in there just to address that issue, that if some towns do become advisory districts and they only have, partial input or no input for that matter. So anyway, I just threw that out there and.
You can certainly have it there. It's also it's addressed either in the advantages or disadvantages. Either there's a bullet that says, if everybody joins, they have a voice in the education of all students K-12, or it was listed as a disadvantage. So I know it's in there in the bullets too.
So, yeah. So what are you thinking, Steph, regarding that?
No, I'm just bringing it to the group, and I think that this is because of the town that I live in, obviously, but I think the more that can be communicated, just so that people are very aware of what the future might hold.
Yeah, I think that piece is an important piece, so I don't mind emphasizing it in many places. Did you put a sentence in? I'm not seeing that you added.
Just at the very end, regardless of the State Board of Education's decision about supervisory union services, it would be better for students if ANWSD and MAUSD merge into a single union district. And I added where all stakeholders have decision-making capabilities for all students pre-K through 12.
All right, everybody good with adding that? Thumbs up.
Do we need the first phrase or not?
Right, so when I asked for that phrase to be included, it was to say, we would much prefer the union district, like you're describing, where everybody has control. But at the end of our discussion, we concluded that even if we can't have that, we still want to merge. So I don't see that anywhere in this paragraph. And I think that idea should be in there too, right? Like, don't we want it to be clear that we wouldn't change our recommendation if
the last sentence does?
Well, now that there's a district reference back in there, I am confused. That's the best way to put it.
Right. I thought there was a statement that Tracy had added in, but let's look. Unionist forum. Sorry to slow us down.
No.
District structures.
We could just take out the word district in that last sentence. And that would convey, I think, what you're trying to
Yeah,
convey.
right. I
A
mean,
single union.
except
regardless
for
of-
all stakeholders would not have the decision-making capabilities for all students, and that's the problem that's being
Right.
referred to in there.
Well, the state board can assign us this and then they can take our new this and plop it into a new that, right? So I'm
Yeah.
worried about the phrasing.
Don't give me any ideas.
Yeah.
They have
Do a
the
single-
ideas.
Unified. Single union.
Yeah.
I don't want them to
Fine if
think
you
we're
just
gonna
take
be
the word
okay.
District out.
I mean, we can take this whole thing out if that makes it easier.
Well, I like,
I mean, I did sort of get a message that, like, don't give them any ideas, like that this is okay, right? Because then they're,
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, I think we should cut out the entire last sentence. Not even mention the State Board of Education's decision, because we don't want them to feel like we're trying to influence them. And because they might, they might get angry about that. We should just present the facts. The facts are that there are several cons if they were to not follow our requested organizational structure.
right?
So the only, like, the danger that's lurking in the back of my head, I guess, is that if we put that in there, then they'll say, oh, they don't want a merger unless it's a district, and we want to put them into a union, so we're going to say no.
I think,
Oh, can't say no, can they?
Yeah.
The voters have to say yes or no.
Right, you'll be there to answer State Board of Ed questions if they lean that way. And you will also have some months to educate the community about the pros and cons and possible permutations, and can address that question. Especially if this decision is made in September, which is, yeah, another confusion probably. Because this union won't have been formed by the time the State Board of Ed makes its decision, so it'll kind of have to make a prospective assignment.
Tracy, if they vote against it, do we still go to the polls in November?
They can't vote against it. They can give you feedback and ask you to change your articles and delay the process, but they have to approve it, I believe.
That doesn't make any sense.
Unless they don't.
Well, speak to your legislators.
Fine.
So then why,
Unnecessary step.
yeah, so then what does the Secretary of Education have to do with it?
Well, the key decision that they can make is the supervisory union assignment. And that's what he's talking about, making a recommendation on, not against the union, but against a recommendation that would impact the opportunities within your recommendation.
They have control over supervisory union, so they can create a supervisory union and put schools in it or districts in it, entities in it.
They have to determine that it's in the best interest of the state students and school districts and aligns with policy.
And follow the process.
Yeah, but that's the same as the former law, so. Yeah, there's no process, there's nothing in the new law that says, and if they don't find that, or if they reject it.
I'm gonna put the K or the pre-K through 12 thing in there.
Yeah, if you move it up past, after efficiencies, that second sentence.
I mean, you're asking to create the ideal structure that was recommended.
Remember
That's recommended in law and policy in numerous places.
Correct.
And so there's nothing in here that says if the State Board of Ed decides it's not in the best interest, the merger shall not proceed and the decision is final, and can't be reconsidered for a year. There's nothing in statute that says anything like that.
In elementary school. close the elementary school and find a place for the kids to go.
All right, looks like there's language for us to all review. Everybody take a look at that. Let me know if there's further discussion.
I don't think the pre-K through 12 thing is in there as an advantage, and I think it should be. Has emerged.
Oh,
No.
and the advantages. Okay, I was looking at the paragraph before there.
I think we added that in as an advantage. It would get to the
Yeah.
point, right?
I'm highlighting where it is as an advantage on page 7. And we could add a bullet that says, if some towns don't join, they won't have a voice in the education of their students at the secondary level.
Well, that's good.
How's that?
Okay, so do we want to, and then so advantages and disadvantages, and then that final paragraph. Any more discussion on that? Everybody good? Or do you want more time?
No,
All right, thumbs up. All right, great. And then we move into the articles. I saw, Kevin, you had an comment on one of Article 14. Let's see. So I'm on page 17, because unless people, I think we kind of went through the articles already, right?
Yeah, we did, and we did agree on this, but reading it today, it's just like, why are we putting that in there? It seems like it's can be nested in number 5, and it just seems like fodder for people to get huffy if you take grade 4 or 5 out.
And why wouldn't you say that about every grade then? Like, why are you picking grade 6? I agree, let's just take that. We don't need to make a motion for that, do we?
Yeah, we did our articles.
I'll move that we move item 4 underneath Article 14B.
Have a second?
I second.
Okay, Troy seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? And Tracy, you'll make that change in the articles themselves, or are those separately kept?
Yeah, we actually, as stinky as it is, have 2 versions. We have this version in the report, and then there's a standalone version that's been shared with legal counsel and the agency and secretary at this point. So I'll update the standalone version as well, and make sure everybody who needs it has it.
All right, great. And yeah, there's a couple other places Kevin has some comment. Oh, no, that's it on the articles. All right, so about the articles of agreement. So I am on paragraph 19. What, unless anyone has anything else on the articles themselves. All right, so about the articles, go ahead, Kevin.
I think we resolved the question that I had on page 19.
Then let's keep going unless anybody else has something, speak up as we go through them. Page 20.
So
I'm a little bit concerned about that statement. Curriculum will be the same as what is in place for the year.
We change it all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Maybe continuous with.
It will be updated or like something about following its normal.
Curriculum updates will follow the
Normal course.
current process at,
or yeah, the curriculum evolution will be the same as what is in place for the year prior, or.
Curriculum development.
Right, that's good.
mhm. Process.
Does that work?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, that was resolved now.
So I'm not hard on this, but I got the impression that we were trying to freeze something for like the first year here. We're not, I don't read it that way, but I'm okay with the way it is.
I would take out the development process. I'd say the curriculum will be the same as what is in place for the year prior to the union, including graduation requirements, because I think the question was, you know, am I all of a sudden going to have to teach a different, adjust my course expectations, or are graduation requirements going to be turned upside down?
So it's not about the curriculum itself, it's about the requirements of what is.
Graduation requirements,
If I
yeah.
remember correctly, I thought it was mainly about graduation requirements so that those don't change. Not necessarily what's happening like day to day in your classroom. So I think
There might
the
be
main
more.
thing is about graduation requirements. Those aren't going to change midstream on it.
Yeah, because an incoming ninth graders, teachers from different schools might be saying, let's all do the exact same thing with this class that's entering now.
Just so
Have
that
good
we're-
collaboration
Right.
that way. So we've kind of set the stage for where they're headed together.
But you might not do that you won't do that for the 12th
You
grader.
will not do that
Right.
for a 12th grader.
And
There will
maybe
be-
even the 11th grade after some discussion happens.
Right,
But there will be discussions that occur.
yeah.
But this is just saying for those 12th graders who are freaking out, this is the way you're okay.
Even in the 11th
Honestly,
grader.
that happens right now,
Yeah.
every single year in your school.
Right.
If you start a new program, it only affects certain kids.
Right, you grandfather it in.
I don't know if that even needs to be.
Well, I think it's helpful to say that it's a
Graduate.
thoughtful thing.
Says it now.
Yeah, it's
Right, I
good.
think it's graduate. When I'm talking with kids about this, that's their one of their biggest concerns.
I like this, yeah, this is good.
Thank you.
So are we good now with this language? Okay, and so then the next piece, I think you were thinking about add for the first year of operation.
Yes.
It always works. It's always
You put it at the beginning.
I was thinking, oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, although it is subject to potentially, oh, and yeah, the choices after that.
We should have gotten a pizza. The ice cream truck outside. People at home.
I don't get this back in Lincoln.
I'm not snacking. I'm in solidarity with you.
Okay.
I mean, do we need to put in there, subject to, school choice for this first year of operation?
I think that makes-
Spelled out, says you can choose if you meet the requirements.
All right, so everybody's good with that as it is?
Bass fishing, I hear, is also an athletic that we're
So
done.
the
Yeah.
next comment I have is on page 22. So does anyone have anything before that? So Carol, do you want to speak to the staff reduction piece? You
Sure,
just had a
yeah,
question.
I think that each paragraph outlined so nicely what the situation was for each district individually, that it really should be followed up with what would happen in the merged district. So just copying Sheila's comment and pasting that in next would be my recommendation. It answers the question.
That
Got that $5 million.
Yeah.
Tagline, again, which was problematic.
We could say a potential of,
Or an estimated.
an estimated potential savings.
And it's explicitly when compared with the
Yeah.
non-merged level program
Yeah.
budget. So I think that's fair.
And you could even put in parentheses after dollars at this time.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Just sort of like, this is what we're seeing right now.
We project.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's not factual.
all right. Okay. Is everyone good with those language changes?
So
Go ahead. Kevin.
are we gonna keep the
Yeah.
paragraph that says it would be estimated that 6 to 6 staff reductions from MAUSD's current 267, blah, blah, and it says to stay below the excess spending threshold, but I don't believe that's in effect right now, is it? So we should take that out?
Right, we don't, yeah, these have not been updated to reflect the weighting study either. This was the information we were basing.
All right, weighted studies. All right. So that change is made to take out that piece. Is everyone good now with the background and context section?
Would you say something like to, how did we come up with, what's the reference point for 66 staff reductions without that reference? To manage spending per pupil and just not reference a target? We can just leave it. It's okay.
We've reached that point.
We're not doing very good work.
It's context. It's historical.
That's true.
Well, it's in the past tense. It was estimated. Maybe put a footnote.
Well, and that spending threshold doesn't even have to be a state spending threshold. That can be your school board spending threshold, right? Like you have a number, a magic number that you're not willing to put out each year to the community. No more than a 2% increase for whatever we decide.
That is true.
So
But
it can be. a lot
our
more.
language, when we use those words, we usually imply what the state is doing versus the board.
I'm trying to think of something to say that, you know, this was the historical context and I took language directly from the reports that were made to the boards that led to the formation of the district to try and illustrate the reason for the report. So we can, let's see.
I would do it as a footnote if you could. Because that's what we studied, and I would just add as a footnote that the excess spending thresholds have since been eliminated, but
When it's not eliminated, it's been,
yeah, holiday or whatever, right? Suspended
Paused.
has currently been, is currently.
Suspended.
Yeah.
Last paragraph is scary.
What?
Last paragraph on page 22.
Most of that they talked about through attrition, so
Right.
it's not
It's just
good, but
I'm a
it's better
teacher.
than 106 positions otherwise.
What if we can change the word redundant?
Yeah,
That works. Okay.
I don't like that paragraph at
I
all.
know, it's, as a teacher. when you read
22
that, it's
is,
like,
I know that the point is that we're trying to save, we have to spend less money and we're gonna have less people to do that. I think when you actually say a specific number of teachers that are being eliminated, it isn't really that positive, because they can't compare it to, unless we were to say versus
Yes, that's.
75 high school teachers.
But
Like,
that's
That's
the
what they're
point.
saying. It's
is-
66 here and 40 here, so that's 104. Like, so maybe we can put that
I don't know
in
if
the
we need
end.
to spin it
Yeah, we-
42
a little more positive.
Compared to
though.
100.
or make it super clear, like, I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe it's even, we put
If
in
I
that-
just read that paragraph, I'd be Panic City.
But maybe we go back to our language we had earlier of, when we did that before, like, this enables us to sustain and even increase programs for students while minimizing the reduction in staffing.
Well, saving 60 of those positions that we otherwise would have had to cut.
See, this is almost a place where I think the side-by-side comparison would be nice.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, Sarah. People don't like to see cuts. They like it.
Well, some people do.
quietly.
But
They like to have them
also,
quietly.
Yeah.
but also we have said we want to be transparent and
Yes, it's true.
honest that
I
there
think it
are
just
going to
needs
be
a-
cuts
We have to
This is
compare the two
fewer-
scenarios
this is
at the
less than
same, in the same
50%
sentence.
of the cuts.
so.
So either we
cuts is
do
a- Cuts is a bad word. It's
Right.
Yeah.
like, I don't know what it-
position elimination.
But it's important to paint a picture with numbers, because there are a lot of people, I've been asked more than once. How is combining the central offices gonna save money?
Right.
And it's like, you don't need two superintendents, you don't need two business, oh, you're gonna get rid of people. Or you're gonna get rid of positions, but people are not drawing that inclusion by saying we're gonna combine central office.
I even like her.
It's like, why do we need two superintendents? It's not like, okay, we're gonna realign to have a superintendent.
I like Patrick and Sheila. They're my favorite parts.
Reconfigure.
Reconfigured. No one likes that word. Troy.
No one likes that word.
Oh, no. I just think if you're gonna use numbers, that you use you compare the two things within the same sentence or the same,
I think. Carol did
Sentence.
I added,
Okay.
I added a sentence. While still a difficult budgetary consideration, this merger limits the number of positions that will need to be reduced compared to each individual district's projections. So then it brings it back to those upper paragraphs of 66.
better.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Thanks, Carol. Anything else on this? Okay, are we good with this section? I need to go pick up my child. So Martha, I was hoping that you could lead the rest of this meeting.
Sure.
Thank you. And sorry to leave. I think it was Carol and Martha now at the meeting, and me and Dustin is also not on, but I think we still have the quorum. Gloria, is that correct?
I can't stay much longer though.
Yeah.
Can I make one more comment?
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay, unless Martha's bringing pizza. We gotta wrap
Yeah,
this
right.
up.
I can run right down. I'm at City Hall. I just have not been able to leave, so.
I have one final request and then I'll stop talking, I promise. Can we just leave it as at approximately 42 positions and take all of the high school, central office and middle school?
Yeah.
Or just put, or maybe teachers and then central office positions, but
How about this, 42 positions, including 11 at the central office?
perfect,
Yes,
That's really
yes.
important.
perfect.
People are not
Uh,
understanding.
That sounds great to me. I gotta run. And if you're still needing when I get back, I'll join you again. Thanks, everybody.
All right,
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
How many are at? How many are at? in the
Of those
central
11?
office? I have to look, I have it somewhere. About- Yeah.
What page are we on?
What counts? for
22.
Well, it's decreased a lot because we had 2 coordinators left, so.
I can't pull it all up. Okay.
So Kevin's next comment is on page 28.
Okay.
Next
I've got a
comment.
black screen, so I can't talk.
So it says,
Ah,
What is it?
which one? I'm on a different
Oh,
one.
so
Page
I
28.
don't, I'm questioning how clear it is. The increase of 13 through 15 is from some point through 27. And it seems to me like we'd have a beginning and end to frame that increase, but maybe it's not a big deal.
Gotta be more than that.
I'll check the date. This is from that 13 to 15% is from Floyd and Elizabeth's presentations in the fall of 2022. So it was probably, it might be FY23, but I'll check. I highlighted it, so I'll check. And again, I didn't want to deceive people by, or have people say, well, it's not going to be that. Because the excess, you know, I mean, their work in the fall is what it is, and it included excess spending penalty. And I don't have the capacity to have them recalculate it.
No. Just timestamp it.
And then the next, if there's nothing else, what page is this?
31.
31. It says increase class sizes. I'd propose that we put beyond optimal class, increased beyond optimal class sizes. People think of
Or things
cost of
don't run,
classes.
or the other direction and it goes
I
down.
agree with the optimal
Yeah.
size. I wrote that in my notes. this
Because
morning.
the bigger problem is not enough kids in the class.
Yeah.
Not too many kids in the class. I don't
Right.
think there's any big over 35 kids in the class in many classes here, is there?
People
So maybe not the word beyond, but
are-
within optimal
I
numbers.
thought it was optimal, not just beyond. I thought loss of programs and optimal class sizes.
I'm just going from what I hear on the street is my kid's in a class of 14 and that's big.
14.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh my.
Grow up
How
when
big
we
can you
did.
make them?
That's
And to me, maybe,
Perspective.
I think it was Kevin who said cuts of teachers doesn't sound good. I would agree, and that's used in that statement, cuts of teachers. Is there some other word to use?
Staff
Or like a-
reductions.
Staff reductions, thank you.
I'm here. I'm having to pull this up on my phone since I can't have Zoom on and the paper I was looking at.
I'll keep helping you.
That's good.
If, are there other, is that section resolved? That comment disappeared. All right, if we jump to the next comment.
I had a comment that I didn't put in and now I'm trying to find it.
It
because-
was world language and I.
World
fixed it.
language,
Yeah.
and then I had another one. Oh, here it is, on page 33, it says educators advocate that together MAUHS and UHS would be stronger. And I just wonder where, when we talk to educators, and they said this. Because I don't remember there being like a survey or anything that we did as educators here in my district in UHS. Educators advocate that together. So I just,
Where is that?
I don't know, was anything Stephanie done?
This would have come from the presentation by the principal and the curriculum director. And it would, and I don't remember what I was thinking when I wrote this and whether it's a direct quote or a direct attribution of them saying that this is what educators said, or whether they as I meant them, those two as educators.
Or maybe then you should say that it was leadership,
Yes.
just because that implies that it was maybe teachers too, and we
Good
weren't
statement.
actually. That wasn't.
I'll have to look and see what their presentation said. I
Okay.
didn't want to, can you highlight that? I'll highlight it.
Was it like when Gabe and
Yeah.
so and so? Who was the other
Shannon.
guy?
Shannon.
Shannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they definitely said that. So
And I- He said,
we can say education leaders. I'm okay with that.
that would be great, thank you.
Mm,
46.
I need to confirm on page 36 or eliminate reference to we lost Pat, that MAUSD's homestead property taxes are 30 cents lower today. I can try and confirm that with Floyd tomorrow. And if it's not confirmable, I'll delete it.
I leave, do we still have a quorum? I've gotta-
I'm two.
I have to zip out to Addison and be back in half an hour.
Liz is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're good.
Okay.
We're about to be done. I guess we will be done. We won't have a quorum.
does it matter if someone has to be there? I mean, I can run down now.
Oh, you're on, you're
Oh,
on.
no, you're fine.
Good. Still 8.
We still have 8.
Yeah.
Let's
So
finish.
Okay.
I took- So I'm not seeing Any other comments?
Hit the one on 46 though.
46.
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
Oh, it's gone.
I took care of it.
Okay, okay.
And so the rest is things that just need, just need after, clean up tomorrow, either to be confirmed or eliminated. So is there any other feedback on the report?
What? That was our big thing.
Hearing none, do you want to, Martha, would you facilitate approval of the report pending final edits and pending final edits?
Yes, I just need to, I'm having some technical difficulties, so. Okay. So someone has to make a motion, or are we doing the thumbs up?
Oh,
I mean, it's-
wait, you know what? I need a name, guys. A working legal name. I can't
Right.
really leave it new UUSD, and then you can approve.
Working name, not forever.
Comedy-Gos.
Addison North.
Addison North.
Addison North it is.
I did like Mountain Bike though.
Until the mountains went away.
Same problem. You're right, you just can't keep going.
Sorry. I'm asking that, I guess.
Because it's northwest and northeast.
I saw it now.
Right. And they're going.
I don't-
To the
Okay.
wall.
Then they got Addison Central.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so then, Martha, can you facilitate? I'll replace new UUSD with Addison North everywhere.
Make a motion that we change the AUUSD in the report to say Addison North for now. For the report.
I second it.
Second,
All right, we have a motion on the floor to change the UUSD to Addison North for the purposes of the report. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, give a thumbs up or say aye.
Aye.
Anyone oppose? Any abstentions? Motion carries. And now,
Now, pending final edits, are you okay with the report on the whole?
Make a motion to approve the report pending final edits.
Second.
okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve the final report pending the edits. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay. So the next item of business, I'm just gonna help a little more, is to prepare for the State Board of Education. I will work with the co-chairs to prepare for a 5-minute or less summary of the highlights that you would like the State Board of Ed to consider. And I will include in that key points from your discussion today, like around the supervisory union structure and the importance of that. I will work with the chair and vice chair of the State Board of Ed to confirm that that's what they need. And if for some reason that changes, I will let you know by email and work with the co-chairs to include individual board members. And if that's not, or individual committee members and any additional planning as needed. And if for some reason I need full committee problem solving, we will meet on the 19th. How does that sound? Otherwise, with the co-chairs, we can cancel the June 19th meeting.
July.
July. Yes, July, sorry.
Sounds
Liz?
good.
Okay. And I think I can handle communication. We haven't put out the brief from the last meeting, so I'll just add that the committee completed its report to the draft brief and have it cover both meetings.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
So Martha, that just leaves public comment and adjournment.
Yep, and for me to find the Zoom thing again when I try to switch to that. Okay. Excellent. Is there any public comment at this time? Listen for a few minutes. It looks like you have someone there, so. But it doesn't appear that anyone has any public comment. Can anyone see better than me? Okay, having no further public comment, we'll move on to adjournment.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
There was a
We
question.
don't have the answer.
There was a question earlier in regards to trying to get this out ASAP to the school boards. Is that something that can just be digitally pushed over, even if it's not final edit, so they can at least see where we are? Is that helpful to the school boards?
Yes, I can absolutely do that.
Does that help the rest of your board who's not here or no?
It's on the agenda.
It's on our agenda for tomorrow.
So whether it comes or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
It said if it was coming late.
Okay.
It would not be there in time. We will definitely hear about that, but there's not anything we can do about it.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter at this point.
No, if they want more time to read it and talk about it, then
Push it.
that's what will happen.
Okay, that's it.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
We have a motion to adjourn. Any discussion? Having no discussion, everyone approve?
Yes.
All right, motion carries.